Hi everyone, I'm Sandy, and today I thought I would just share with you what some of my 2022 reading goals are, and then also go through my January TBR, or pile of possibilities, or reading plans, whatever you want to call it. I am very excited about the list of books that I have as potentials in January, so I'm excited to go through those with you, and then also just kind of talk about just some overall kind of goals for this year. Nothing too specific, just because I know myself well enough to know that every time I make a plan, like a week later, the plan changes. So we're going to keep it light and easy and simple and just go with the flow as far as trying to make the goals or the reading plans, and then see where my reading takes me this year. I'm very excited about it. The one thing, so for goals, real goals for 2022, I am not setting a number of books to read goal. If I did, I'd want to set it fairly low, because if anything, I feel like I read too much in 2021, to the point where I was letting a few other things go. One of the things is trying to get up in the morning and do a half hour of exercise before I kind of start my day, and instead I was getting up and watching BookTube and reading. And so while that's not a bad way to spend my time, it's just not also how I feel so much better when I'm exercising more and just being a bit more active. So that's kind of the first thing, is my reading plans or my reading goals as far as number of books. I am not putting a number on it. The only number I am really focused on is the 52 books for the 1001 book countdown that I've already selected for 2021. And I put up that video already, so I'll leave a card up here for you if you want to go and check out what books are on that. Outside of that, I'm not going to try and set a number. I say that, but then I look at the books that I select and it's just crazy anyway. So hopefully I'm able to keep it kind of reasonable, except for January. There's a reason for January though, which we'll get into. Okay, so the other thing for my reading goals for 2022, I really want to read at least one nonfiction book per month. I did a little bit in 2021 and really liked it quite a bit, so I want to continue that trend in 2022. The other thing is I do want to make sure I'm reading at least one new release in a month. In 2021, I had a little bit mixed in, and I also really enjoyed that. And so I'm going to try and mix in a new release with my 1001 book list, with everything else kind of that I select, whether it's classic science fiction that might not be on my list or something else. But those are the couple things, is to read at least one nonfiction book and a new release every month, in addition to my 1001 book list. So outside of that, one of the ways I'm going to be able to accomplish that, or that will help me accomplish that this year, is I did sign up to be a BookTube Prize judge. I don't know what rounds or which categories yet I would be judging, but I did sign up, and I'm very interested in the process. I haven't seen the emails go out yet where you kind of start perusing through books that you might be interested in, but I'm very interested in the whole process and how it goes. I did sign up for two categories, nonfiction and fiction, so we'll see what I end up judging or not judging, but that would be one of the ways that I'm hoping to bring in both new releases and nonfiction into my reading in 2022. The other one is my book club, which I will be announcing officially the books on it on the 1st of January. I'm incredibly ecstatic by all of the response that I got in regards to the book club, and so I will be listing the official books on January 1st for you, and it will have 10 books, with the first month not starting until February, to give people time to get the books. But that is those are my high level kind of reading goals, just to continue also making videos and trying to have some type of a regular schedule. I am failing at that. I would like to do on a minimum Wednesday, Saturday, but then I do a tag video and it gets all screwed up, and then I try and do Tuesday, Thursday, and then I'm doing Wednesday, Saturday. I just don't know what I'm doing. So every time, again, that I try and make a schedule for videos that I want to make, I do two of them and then throw it out. Even for this week, I had something planned for Tuesday, and then I ended up not doing it, and then I'm putting this up on Wednesday. So I don't know. I'm just kind of a mess in regards to the in regards to the reading schedule. Reading schedule, filming schedule. So I would like to have a little bit more consistency on the days I put videos up. It's just been absolutely a bit of a challenge to figure out what days really work for me and work for my schedule, other than I like doing a video on Saturday. Beyond that, I think that's really it. I don't know what read-alongs, readathons I'll be participating in outside of January. I have a number of buddy reads scheduled already for this year, and possible buddy reads scheduled where we've talked about a book but don't have a date yet. And so I'm going to try and limit it down to 1 or 2 buddy reads per month, and kind of go from there. So we'll see how I do. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm really good at making plans, not good at keeping them. So we'll judge that, I guess, as I go through the month. But in addition to that, for today, I am going to share my January TBR. And now, while I said I'm going to try and keep things, not commit to as many books in a month, January is one of the 2 exceptions, because I'm off for 2 weeks in January on vacation, and our travel plans, unfortunately, were canceled because of COVID concerns, and so I'm going to have a large amount of time home with lots of books to read. So yeah, I have a ton kind of picked up and stacked to my over here on my side, and I'm excited to share them with you. So we're just going to go ahead and jump into the books for January, and see how it goes. And if one of them matches kind of what my reading goal for the year would be, I will certainly make that apparent as I go through this list. Okay, so for the first book, this is for my book club at work, and it is actually a new release. I'm going to try and hope these books don't fall over. It is actually a new release. It is a chunky book, which is Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr. And I don't know much about this one. This was not my pick. This was one of my coworkers' pick, but I'm excited about it, except for how big it is. It is 600 and something pages long. 626 pages in Cloud Cuckoo Land. It looks like it's set over multiple time periods, the 15th century, present day Idaho, and on an interstellar ship decades from now. And that's really all I know about Cloud Cuckoo Land. I do love this cover. I think it's really cool. And of course, there's a Barnes & Noble sticker on it that I can't easily get off. Wait, maybe I got it off. Nope. See, it ripped. Wait. Oh, I got the sticker off. Yay! You're welcome. So Cloud Cuckoo Land, that is the first book. And then outside of that, my scheduled buddy read for January is with Kevvie over at Say Kevvie. And we have been planning this for a couple of months, few months now, actually, ever since we did our last buddy read, I believe. We kind of had talked about that one. So we are going to be reading Dorothy L. Sayers' Whose Body? This is the first in the Lord Peter Wimsey series. I have never read any Dorothy L. Sayers. This is a very small book, which is excellent for January. It is not on the 1001 book countdown, but this one is. Murder Must Advertise. So I'm curious if you've read any Dorothy L. Sayers. This is book 8 in the Lord Peter Wimsey series. Do we have to read these in order? Or can I go from book 1 to book 8 and not feel like I'm missing something? If you're familiar with Dorothy L. Sayers, please let me know what you think, because otherwise Kevvie and I will end up probably reading this one and putting this one off until later in the year, until at least I've had a chance to read more of them. I don't know if Kevvie wants to sign up for a Dorothy L. Sayers every month to get us to 8. But that is the first buddy read in January, is for Dorothy L. Sayers with Kevvie from Say Kevvie. And then my group read is continuing of the Wolf Hall trilogy, and this is with AJ Dunn Reads and Writes, Jolene at Bookworm Adventure Girl, and Shelley Swearingen, and a couple of subscribers. And so we are reading the third book. We have read the first 2 together, and I like the second book quite a bit better than the first one, so I'm hoping that this one continues with the Thomas Cromwell trilogy, and see kind of what happens. So, how do you beat the end of the second book? I don't know. We'll see. But that will be continuing in January. And then, because I am such a joiner, I know. There is a lovely event called Flannery O'January, which I heard about it on Noah at Everybody Who Reads It Must Converse, but it's hosted by a few different booktubers. I'll leave them all linked in the description below. But of course, the book that I picked is on the 1001 book list, but not on my 2022 list, and that is The Violent Bear It Away by Flannery O'Connor for Flannery O'January. And I love this cover, first of all. I think this is a brilliant cover. I know nothing about this. I picked it out of the 3 that they were selecting because it's on my list and I have to read it anyway. So why not read it in January with the group? So The Violent Bear It Away. And then my lovely friend AJ Dunn is hosting their first book club in January, which is the Thrill a Month book club. And the first book that they selected is The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith. And this would be a reread for me, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to read it or not, but I do have it. I would like to be able to read it with the group and support AJ's book club. If you're not familiar with their channel, definitely go check it out. I'll leave it linked in the description below. And they already have the full list planned out of all of the books that they'll be reading as part of the book club. So yeah, but the first one is The Talented Mr. Ripley. So I'm very excited about potentially reading this one. And then the last event that I'm going to participate in January is the Reading Africa Challenge, which is hosted by Mark over at Booktime with Elvis. And I did the Reading Europe Challenge over the summer with this group, and it was so much fun. You're assigned a country, and it follows a soccer tournament in Africa. And if your team wins, you keep reading from that country. If they lose, you have to read a book by the team that beat them. And so in the drawing that Mark did, I drew Egypt, which is phenomenal because there were so many books I could choose from. I knew about this last year, so when I was selecting my 2022 list, I may have selected a few from Egypt to pad the list a little bit to know I was going to be reading these anyway, which is phenomenal. But the first book that I selected for Egypt is the nonfiction book for January, which is Cleopatra by Stacy Schiff. It won the winner of the Pulitzer Prize. I don't know what year. I believe Britta Bowler also talked very highly about this. I've heard that this is a very excellent book, but I'm excited to read this one about Cleopatra. And then for the rest of the books for the Reading Africa Challenge, I do have 3 other books that are Egypt. And the first one is Woman at Point Zero by Nawal El-Sadawi, and it is nice and short. And this one talks about, it says, leading to her grimy Cairo prison cell. I don't like reading the back of books because I don't want it to be spoiled, but this one I am super intrigued by. And then in addition to that, I have these 2 books by Naguib Mahfouz. And I apologize because I'm sure I'm not saying that right. I have Midak Ali and Miramar, and these 2 books are both also set in Egypt, so they absolutely qualify. They're also not horribly thick, so I'm very excited to be picking up these 2. Between these 3 books here, it's, nice and small. So I feel like that's completely doable. And so with that, that's the Reading Africa Challenge. There are 5 Sundays in January, which is kind of how I judge how many books I'm supposed to read from the 1001 book countdown. I also do like to try and get a little bit ahead in January because I know there's months where I won't read as much. And so I do have a few other possible books. And remember, I'm off for 2 weeks in January, which is why my TBR is so big in January. I'll be back to a normal kind of level in February. But the first book I'm considering is If This Is a Man, The Truce by Primo Levi. This is the highest rated book I could find off of the list for the 2022 list. So that one is interesting to me. The next one is this one, Happy by Nicola Barker. And the whole reason why I picked this one up in January potentially is because of the description in here. And it says, Happy is a post-apocalyptic Alice in Wonderland. Really? So I don't know anything more about it, but that kind of captured my attention and made me want to read it. So Happy by Nicola Barker. And then the last one is one of the books that I'm probably least not least happy about, but least looking forward to. So I was hoping to try and get it out of the way in January, which is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. And this one also has, oh, this one's actually a built-in sticker. I can't get the sticker off. This one won the Pulitzer Prize as well. And, but it is another chunky book. It is, 763 pages long, and it's like bigger than a normal book. Like if you look at how big this book is compared to it, it is, you know, it's big, it's tall and big and thick, with 760 something pages. I also have it as a digital copy, so I know if we end up going somewhere, it can travel with me. But The Goldfinch would be the other one. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I know I'm off. I know I have a lot of time to read. I read a lot when I'm even, you know, on days that I'm working. And so having this much free time in January means that all of these books feel very, very doable, and I'm very excited about getting a jump on some of my reading off of the 2022 list in January. If I can do these plus these in January, that would take 6 off of the 2022 list. And then if we end up reading Murder Must Advertise, that would be 7, which would be phenomenal. But there's no way I'd be able to do that much if I was having to work in January. But because I'm off, it's possible. But that's kind of what my current reading plans are, my reading goals. Like I said, I'm really good at making plans. I am not good at keeping plans. So I'm really good at making lists, not good at keeping lists. So we'll see kind of how it goes. But for January, I think I have a really good mix of new releases, nonfiction, 1001 books, book clubs and picks. And I think it'll be a phenomenal month. And very excited about being off for a couple weeks, so it should be a lot of fun. But let me know in the comments if you have read any of these, what your thoughts are on Dorothy L. Sayers, and look for my book club announcement on the 1st of January with the picks. Obviously, none of the books I've selected for January are in the book club, but look for that video as well. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, everyone, thanks, bye.